What's up, traders? This is Matt with Conservative Trades. Hope you guys are doing all right today. I'm doing all right, I guess. End of the day up 235.71. Um, but I'll tell you what, I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset. I'm just a little perturbed. And when I say a little, I mean probably more than I'm letting on to here. But the thing is I did really well today, and I ended up through the day as most of you guys who are watching the live stream, you heard me say this to you. For those of you who are new to the channel, or those of you who don't typically sit in on the live stream, I'll just let you know that I do have other work. I have another job. I've got a company that I work for. I work remotely and I work from home, so it enables me to do the trading and stuff in the morning. And then I pretty much take jobs as they end up coming through. And this week is a very busy week. And so I really just pretty much had to focus mostly on my other work all day today, but I did get little breaks here and there, and took little breaks here and there, and checked in with the market, and would punch in a little trade here and there, and I just kept teetering around that 250 mark. I'd take a little trade, and I'd be up to 158 or something like that, and then I'd take another trade, and I'd be down to 240, and then I'd take another trade, and I'd be up to 151, and then finally. And I tell you what, it got ridiculous because it's kind of one of those things. And listen, I know I'm overexposing myself to the market. Um, and you end up just paying more in commissions when you do that. But the thing with me today is, as I was going about my business and doing my other work, every now and then I was just coming in here and I was just looking at opportunities to possibly push my P&L over 300. And I had that goal in mind. I had the goal in mind that I wanted to try to, get a $300 day. It's been a couple weeks since I've had a good solid $300 day. And I guess I just wanted it too bad. Because really, you know what? At one point, like I said, I was up 250 something, and I could have just stopped right then. And I ended up taking several other trades that probably cost me an additional, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 bucks in commission. So really, instead of ending the day up, $258, and really after fees and commissions, I would have been up maybe, $200 on the day, over $200 maybe even. Instead of that, I'm ending the day at $235 and probably an additional, maybe even 15 bucks in fees and commissions. So, I'm probably only really ending the day up like, I don't know, 160, 170 bucks after fees and commissions. And so, with the extra trading that I did, I mean, you got to think about it. I pretty much, gave back 30 bucks. And so it's just annoying. It's just annoying. So I'm just kind of venting here about that. But overall, this is great. I mean, this has been a great week for me. We've had one red day so far. Hopefully tomorrow's going to be a green day. It is going to be a Friday, so I'm going to take it easy tomorrow. But today was a great day, and one of my best trades was on Apple. And let me pull out my executions here. Where are we at? Okay, show executions. So let me pull this out here and let me show you what I was looking at today. So first and foremost, you know what? Before we even get into Apple, because this is going to kind of set the stage for a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today. The S&P 500, or we'll say the SPY had broken through this trend line yesterday. Okay, and it looked like it was continuing to make a move to the downside. And of course, it broke through this critical level at 279.13. This was a critical breaking point we were watching. And there were even other levels on the day. I'll bring down the other. This is the official SPY chart that I watch, but I've got all these levels marked out, and I know it can look confusing sometimes trying to go through all this. But I had all these other levels marked out, and it broke through this one here at 275.46, and I saw it making its way down to 271. I really thought we were going to come down here and test that level because it was right where the 50-day moving average was lining up, and I just figured that the market was just going to naturally go in that direction. But as SPY ever so often does, just miraculously gets bought up somehow. And even when you've got more jobless claims reports coming through, and just everything that we're seeing in just the global economy in general, it just gets bought up. And it's not that it comes up and touches these levels and comes back to VWAP. Like, SPY didn't even come back to VWAP. I mean, it's just making a rip-roaring move straight up. Okay, but such is the SPY, guys. This is what I mean. Nobody even thought this was going to happen. When we saw this major, massive drop here, nobody expected a V-shape, 50 retracement, or 60, maybe it was close to 60% retracement, almost, not quite, but nobody expected that. There's no way, nobody ever expected that, but it did it. And so now here we see it finally coming down. First of all, you have to know that I had set this trend line weeks ago, and we were watching this. We were watching this several weeks ago when it came down and lost this trend line here, and it kept butting up against it, but it could never break back up over it and then establish support to keep moving up. So it eventually came back. And when that happened, of course, that's when we came in and we identified a new pivot point or pivot area, whatever you want to call it. And I drew this out, and we had been watching this, and it finally broke. It finally broke yesterday, and it started coming down. But here, I mean, we just had a massive buy right back up to it. Now, I imagine that come tomorrow, if this is not able to maintain back over this trend line, I think tomorrow is going to be another sell day. I think bears might maintain just a little bit, at least a little bit of intraday control, but again, guys, I'm not too surprised with this market. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if the Feds are just continuously pumping money into this. I mean, I don't know. This could be just short squeeze. You know, we could have so many people that were looking at these key levels to break, and they thought, you know, the same thing I was thinking today. And so, you know, you get enough buyers in, you know, to come in and commit to buying it back up. And, you know, you can cause a short squeeze. A lot of this candle could just be shorts buying themselves out. And then, of course, a lot of this candle could also be people, you know, FOMOing back in. And so, you know, there's a collection of, you know, it's a collective effort, I'm sure, on all fronts. But who knows? Who knows what's going on here? But I would look tomorrow potentially for if this can remain under this trend line, for there to be another rejection, and maybe, and I'm not saying that the SPY is going to come crashing down tomorrow. I'm just saying maybe just another minor pullback, just as we saw back here, maybe just a little bit of a butting up against it, but a fail. Okay, or maybe that was right here as it was butting up against that previous trend line that I drew. Yeah, look, I'll show you here. Yeah, maybe we'll just see a continued, you know, slow grind up, but a butting up against it until it pops back over, or until it gets another rejection. So who knows, guys? But with all of that being said, you can see why I felt confident in taking this trade on Apple. And look here, all I took was 50 shares, guys. This is what I try to tell people all the time. It does not take much. You want to do well in this market. You want to be able to build your account slowly but surely. You want to come in and attack day trading with a very realistic approach. And even with a modest account size, it does not take much. We're talking 50 shares, guys. I didn't jump in with 1,000 shares. I didn't even jump in with 100 shares. I jumped in with 50 shares. And look at the number that I pulled out of this. Okay, and I first got in up here. Why did I get in up here? Because I often talk about, you know, we are looking for pullbacks oftentimes when the market opens. We look for healthy pullbacks and buy-ups to previous areas of support or resistance, what have you. And in this case, I saw this as very clear possible resistance. And I was really just starting with 50 shares, and I was planning on taking another 50 up here around the 307 mark, because I thought that this area right here would have been hard for Apple to get through, especially because, once again, the SPY was so weak today. It looked weak, and it looked like it was going to make a continued move to the downside. So I just kind of was in for lack of a better phrase, calling BS on this with Apple, and I got it right. I started in up here with 50 shares, and it came all the way down here. I got out the first 25 shares, broke through VWAP, came all the way down to the moving averages, and you can see here, even on the order book, so I took 25 off here, and then I took another 12 off here at 304, and then when it came down and broke here, you can see I added back in, and I added back in just another 25 shares, and then I bought 19 of those shares back at 303 right here, and then I waited for the drop here. I added in again here because really I was going for the break of here. Got a little slippage, added in a little late. You can see here another 50 shares, but then I bought back all 69 shares back here because it was showing weakness, and I'm glad I did clear out my entire position here, because you can see it jumped all the way back up here. So my only regret is not tracking with Apple once again to make catch another reversal at this VWAP rejection, because again, with as weak as the markets were, there was nothing in my mind that would have justified staying away from this, and of course it worked out perfectly. And then of course, you know, it came up here. I took another trade here. I went short here, took some of the shares off here, and then went short here and had to get out a little bit. But again, I was looking for a move back to VWAP, and I really thought at the same time the SPY was kind of pulling back from some critical levels, and I just thought, I was like, man, there's no way the SPY. I just didn't think that the SPY was going to do what it ended up doing. But it's like I tell you guys all the time, it doesn't matter what you think is going to happen. If it does not happen, you need to get out, and that's what I did. Okay, that's what I did, and you can see, we controlled the losses, and we still ended up, over $144 on Apple, and with even commissions involved and everything. I mean, I probably basically made 130 of today's profit alone in Apple. Just with, after paying for commissions and everything, there's probably about $15 of commissions in there. So we're, like I said, 144.38, minus $15, roughly $130 on that Apple trade. So really good there. CSCO, there's not really too much to talk about. I kind of wish I had remained a little bit more patient on it, but you can see here, I was trying to call the top. And and I finally, first of all, I was actually down on CSCO. I was down, and I don't remember how much I was down. I don't know if it's 20, 30, $40. The live stream is posted to the channel, so you can always go back and watch today's live stream. But I was having a hard time calling the top, but eventually I did call it up here, and I just got out too soon. But it was just so choppy. CSCO was just so choppy, and it'd come all the way down to VWAP and then started coming back up, and so I just wanted to get out. I really had no clue that it was going to actually make its way all the way down here, and it ended up bouncing all the way back. But this is a stock with, it's like a 4 billion share float. And so stocks like this, we were even talking about it in the live stream, stocks like this you got to be careful with. I mean, they're very choppy. And I even said in the live stream that this stock just might be one of those stocks where it just goes back and forth all day long. And it pretty much did up to this point. It retested these levels and then just, but you have to have a lot of buying pressure on a 4 billion share float stock to really get it to make some fairly massive moves, right? Of course, I mean, there's other varying factors involved with that. But anyway, without getting too much into this, BYND was the other really good move on the day that I feel really good about. And look here, guys, like I said, 50 shares. Took 50 shares. And it was pretty much the same call as what I had on Apple, and it was pretty much around the same time. But if you look at BYND, if you just watch BYND's price history, I mean, it is just so known for this. And this is one thing about trading stocks. When you trade stocks long enough, when you spend enough time in the market, you're going to be able to pick out certain stocks. You're going to learn how they move. You're going to learn how they act and what they do. And BYND just made this irrational move all the way up here. But I did notice that there's a lot of previous area of resistance here. And so, even zooming out to the, all the way out here. I mean, just look across. You've got a line all the way over here. You've got a lot that butted up over here. You've got where it came back down and touched there and then finally broke through. And then, you've got it over here. And so, I was really planning to add all the way up to here. Same thing I was doing with Apple. I just got in with 50 shares, and I thought to myself, well, I'll give myself room all the way up to 139. I really didn't see it breaking through 140, not this morning anyway. I know that it did come up and it broke up through it a little bit later. Ended up coming back down, of course, back to the 134 levels. But I knew that with as weak as the SPY was, there's just no way. So I was, again, calling the bluff on BYND. And my only regret was not letting it ride a little bit further before taking profit. But you can see I took profit here, 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 here. And then I added in at the break. I thought this was such a critical break, and I thought, man, we have an opportunity right now to really move down to some of these levels, break into the 120s, even if just temporary. But I was really dependent on the SPY to continue to show weakness, and you can see it started to get bought up, and so I just went ahead and got out. And I don't think I took too many shares short there. Where was it? Where was that? Just another 50 shares short there, yeah. Just another 50 shares short. And so I brought my average down, essentially. But I ended up having to get out. And, very unfortunate that I did. But we still ended the day up $71 on basically this one move. On this one move here. I went short, taking profit all the way down, tried to go short again, and just had to get out. So basically, we're talking 70 bucks on BYND. Again, after commissions, only really filled out a few tickets. And here on Lightspeed, it's $1 a trade basically. It's $1 a trade when you're dealing with small share size. So you're looking at probably 64 bucks after fees and commissions and all that stuff. So anyway, guys, RCL was one that this is one that I had a really difficult time on, but there's a lot of lessons that could be learned with a stock like this. So RCL was, basically having a massive run up. And I was trying to call the bluff on RCL, and I was using these other levels, and I was also watching CCL, and I was looking at very clear levels on CCL. And RCL would come up, and I'd add in, and I'd add in. I think I might have, let's see. So I went short here, covered here, and then covered the rest at break even. Then I started adding in again here, I added in again here, and I added in again here, right? And then as it dropped, I had to take a little bit of a loss. But I'm glad that I did because it continued coming up. Now I took another short here, and then that one worked out, and I took profit there, so that was good. Then I started adding here because I thought, man, with this big red candle, like this has to be the move. This has to be the move. And then I added up here, and I thought we would get a rejection and finally a rollover. But we didn't, and it continued to go up, so I added in again, and then I got out basically, I think I brought my average up to roughly around here, got out break even. But then I tried it again, guys. I thought, again, I'm watching the SPY in all of this. This is why I wanted to bring the SPY out to show you guys before I even got started on this, because if you line this up with what was going on with the SPY, I was banking on the SPY to show continued weakness. And as you can see, this just continued to go up. And so I continued to try these moves where I would average in and then, but then it would just continue to just move against me heavily, and I would just have to get out, basically break even. I took like 3 trades here that I actually just ended getting out break even. Okay, and so anyway, it was ridiculous, and just my luck, because here is when we actually finally got the crash down, and so this actually could have been a really solid move. But again, guys, the SPY with and this is once again just something that I have to talk about. I have to make very clear, because I think people that come into trading don't understand how this stuff can mess with your mind. And this is why trader psychology is something that you have to understand, that this really is 80% psychology. It really, really is. Because here's the thing. Had the SPY not just completely, kicked my teeth in, and these stocks that I've traded in the last couple of months in this crazy volatile market, had it not just completely slapped me in the face, off of irrational move by irrational move by irrational move, I probably would have held through this final move. Okay, but we're in a market where you just don't know. You just don't know. You don't know if that's going to be the stock that ends up going all the way up to $39 just out, in the SPY, right on the day that you think it's going to get, completely, pummeled to the downside. It all of a sudden gets ripped right back up to 300. I mean, we have been in such an irrational, volatile market lately, and I have seen way too many irrational and volatile moves to just not commit to playing it safe. Okay, and so sometimes in doing that, you lose out. You just do, okay? But I tell you what, the more days that go by, that goes by where I continue to make profit like this, and I continue to do well, the more that the more confident I feel, and the more that I build up to coming in the next day and feeling like I can be a little more ballsy with my trades. But the confidence really comes, and this is more directed to you new traders, or those of you who are aspiring to trade. The real confidence comes when you start building that cushion on top of your account, because then once and I'll say this, it's a combination of these things. It's a combination, because once you begin building your account up and you get that cushion, and once you've had day after day after day after day where you're proving that you can stay in the green, where you're proving that you're a profitable trader, and you're making good moves, and you're watching your strategy work over and over and over again, when you combine that with the confidence that you have that your strategy works, on top of the confidence that you have now because you've got a big cushion on your account, then you come into the market one day and you say, all right, I'm ready to size up, and I don't even care. I've got such a big cushion on my account. You know what? If I have a massive loss today, if I have a $300-400 loss today, I'm fine. I'm totally fine, and I don't even care. And that'll actually help you to stay in some of these stocks a little bit longer, and let them work themselves out a little bit longer. And I just echo this on RCL because you come back to here, and I knew, by and large, I mean, again, despite some days that we've had like these super irrational moves in the market, I knew that by and large there was a big chance that this move here was coming. I just didn't know when. Okay, but I was sizing in with small share size. I was only coming in with 100 shares at a time. And there's absolutely no reason why I couldn't have just waited for this to move. And again, I think, if I had more of a cushion on my account right now, and I do, I've got a good cushion, but I'm ready. I have a certain number in mind, and I am working towards that number. And once my cushion gets to that number, that's when I'll start being a little more ballsy with moves right like this. But right now, I'm playing it safe. I just am. Especially knowing that, once again, how many times I've been irrationally kicked in the face by the market in the last couple of months. It's just not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me to see if this had run all the way up here. Now, if I got a big fat cushion on my account, or if I've got my account at the cushion level that I want, then yeah, fine. I would have been fine to see if this would, run against me. But a move like this, you knew it was going to come down at some point. So I've seen it way too many times. But anyway, guys. Look, I'm pretty much just rambling at the moment. I hope the video has been eye-opening for you. I hope that the content I'm bringing here has been good for you guys as well. And I continue to appreciate every single one of you that join me in the live stream each day. And if you're new to the channel, consider joining us. We got a nice little community of day traders here that come through, and guys who just want to attack the market with a very reasonable, rational, and disciplined approach. Okay, and that's what this channel's about. And on top of the fact of obviously the overarching theme here is that you can make decent money trading with a modest account size and without having to risk so much of your hard-earned dollars. You can do it. You can do it. But we do have a good community of guys. As a matter of fact, this trade on MGNX, I'll just show you this real quick. This was actually called out by one of our chat room members, and he was like, yeah, he was like, check out MGNX. And I checked it out, and I noticed that it was at a really critical level here around 25.31. And I think I started going short here at 24.82 just because we were starting to butt up against, MGNX had been bought all the way back up here, and we were butting up against this level here. And guys, these levels work. These levels work. That's why it ultimately came up here and then ended up, crashing down. Sometimes they'll go a little further up than what you expect. And then they'll end up coming down, and that's what it did. But it was good enough for me to just get in. I got in here, averaged in here, and then when it came down, I got out here. Nice little move. It was just a quick little in and out. Oh, that's right. Where I got in here, it only took 3 of my shares. It only took 3 of the 50. So then it came back up to here, and I went ahead and got in 50, and then it came down here, and I got out. Look, real simple, quick move. You can see here I spent all of 3 minutes on this trade, made an extra $30 basically. Okay, maybe we'll call it $25 after fees and commissions. Made $25, guys, for 3 minutes of work, and this was all because of one of the members had called this out in the chat. So we got a good community, and again, we're here streaming live on the channel Monday through Friday. We begin roughly around 9 a.m. And would love to see you guys. And guys, anybody who's watching, consider liking, consider subscribing, and even leave me some comments below. Let me know if you're enjoying the content, and let me know if this is really bringing value to you as a trader. All right, guys, take care.